Every time when you see these questions, okay, it asks you, you are doing the titration, which indicators you should select. I want to actually focus on this part first. Basically, it's separated into 3 different groups. And the separation is based on the analyte you have. If you have a weak base as your analyte, then these are the 2 indicators you can use. And it's good for a certain pH range. Okay, you don't need to know about the pH range for now, okay? Focus on this. Okay, so if you have a weak base as your analyte, these 2 are the indicators you are going to use. Okay, because they are going to change its color when you reach your equivalence point. If you have a weak base as your analyte, when you reach equivalence point, okay, you know all the weak base will be converted to its conjugate acid, right? So you have a weak acid solution at the equivalence point. Therefore, the pH is going to be lower than 7. These 2 are the chemicals that are going to change its color at that specific range. If you have a weak acid as your analyte, so once you reach equivalence point, all the acid will be converted into its conjugate base. Therefore, the pH will be above 7. And therefore, another 2 indicator you can use. And if you have strong acid or strong base as your analyte, which equilibrium, the pH will be around 7, right? So there will be actually another 2 indicator you should use. So to answer those questions quickly and correctly is actually you know what the analyte you have. Then you should now go to the referring 2 indicators. All right, so let's actually the underlying logic how you can solve these type of questions. But you will say things like how can I actually memorize this, go with that, right? The tips I will provide here will be, okay. If you look at the things, let's use the weak base as example. So if you look at weak base, okay, so the way I memorize these things is that if I have a weak base, okay, then I can have the methyl orange or methyl red. So I have this, okay, if I have a weak base as my analyte, I can use methyl orange or methyl red. And the way I memorize this thing is actually Big Mom always wear red dress. So I just create something that I can actually memorize it. So Big Mom red is actually the way I memorize all these things. So let's actually for the first part. For the second part is actually you have strong acid or strong base as your analyte. And then the things you are going to have is actually bromethyl blue and then the phenol red. And then the way I remember is actually sleeping baby are precious. You can create your own way to memorize the things, okay? And the very last one is actually the weak acid as your analyte, right? And then all you have is actually phenolphthalein or the alizarin yellow. Okay, so the way I remember this one is actually apple pay. Okay, so you need to actually create something that you can actually memorize. By using these three lines, you should be able to quickly identify what will be the corresponding indicator you should use. That's the tips I can offer for these type of questions.